Good afternoon, folks. This afternoon topic A is 9 essential signs and smart solutions everyday health conscious adult should know about clogged arteries. So we're going to go through the presentation I made for you. So please sit back and enjoy. Okay, here we go. 9 essential signs and smart solutions everyday health conscious adult should know about clogged arteries. Main points on clogged arteries. Subtle warning signs. Blocked arteries often present with non-obvious symptoms that can be mistaken for other issues. The article emphasizes that chest pain isn't the only indicator. Other signs may include fatigue, shortness of breath, numbness or coldness in the extremities, jaw or back pain. Okay, guys? Here's another sign that people don't talk about: erectile dysfunction in men, dizziness or lightheadedness. These symptoms are described as the body's whispers before a potential cardiovascular crisis. Why it matters: arterial blockages can lead to heart attacks, strokes, or peripheral artery disease. Early detection is crucial for preventing life-threatening events. Smart solutions. The article recommends expert and endorsed strategies to maintain heart arterial health. Dietary changes, emphasizes whole foods, fiber, and healthy fats. Give me 1 second, guys. Gotta fix something. Okay, next page. Regular exercises boost circulation and reduce plaque buildup. Routine screenings, especially for those with family history or risk factors. Stress management. Chronic stress can exacerbate inflammation and vascular issues. Smoking succession, a major contributor to arterial damage. Okay, if you'd like, I can help you adapt these insights to culturally responsive health toolkits or myth busting resources for your community work. Want to co-design something actionable? You're asking the right question, especially given your commitment to culturally responsive health frameworks. Preventing clogged arteries isn't just about avoiding heart attacks, it's about preventing cognitive health and mobility and autonomy across protecting autonomy across the lifespan Here's a synthesis of evidence-based lifestyle changes that can support vascular resilience. Okay, lifestyle changes to prevent clogged arteries. Heart healthy nutrition emphasizes vegetables, fruits, and whole grains, legumes, nuts, seeds, and healthy fats, olive oil, fatty fish. Limit saturated fats, trans fats, and added sugars, and excessive sodium. Okay. Culturally adaptive tip: integrate traditional ingredients, e.g., collard greens, okra, turmeric, seaweed, into dash or Mediterranean style meals. Regular physical activity: aim for 150 minutes a week of moderate aerobic exercise, walking, dancing, swimming. Include strength training 2 times a week to support metabolic health and vascular tone. Okay. Community-based adaptation group movement programs, e.g., line dancing, tai chi, walking clubs, can boost adherence and social connection. Smoking sensations. Smoking damages arterial walls, and accelerates plaque formation. Toolkit ideas: develop culturally tailored succession resources that address stress, stigma, and access barriers. Stress management: chronic stress increases inflammation and blood pressure. Practices like mindfulness, prayer, storytelling, and intergenerational dialogue can buffer stress in culturally resonant ways. Underserved communities with limited access. Weight and sleep optimization. Maintain a healthy weight through balanced nutrition and movement. Prioritize 7 to 9 hours of sleep to support vascular repair and hormonal balance. Would you like to co-design a participatory kit, a toolkit, or infographic that translates these into actionable steps for caregivers, elders, or community health workers? We could even layer in myth busting and culturally specific adaptations. Given your work, or given your systems level lens and commitment to equity, let's break down heart healthy nutrition into actionable, culturally adaptable components that support both cardiovascular and cognitive health across the lifespan. Okay. core principles of healthy core principles of heart healthy nutrition. Whole minimally processed foods, prioritize vegetables, fruits, whole grains, e.g., oats, brown rice, quinoa, legumes, nuts, and seeds. Why? These foods are rich in fiber, antioxidants, and polyphenols, polynutrients that reduce inflammation and support vascular integrity. Okay, 2. Healthy fats over harmful ones. Choose unsaturated fats from olive oil, avocado, fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, flax seeds, and walnuts. Limit saturated fats found in red meat, butter, cheese, and avoid trans fats often in processed snacks and baked goods. Culturally adaptation highlight traditional oils like sesame or perilla in East Asian diets or ground nut oil in West African cooking. Sodium and sugar reduction. Reduce added sugars and salt, which contribute to high hypertension and arterial stiffness. Tip: use herbs, spices, citrus, and fermented foods to enhance flavor without excess salts. Toolkit idea: create a flavor without salt, guided you using culturally familiar ingredients. Plant forward proteins. Emphasize beans, lentils, tofu, tempeh, nuts, seeds, and fish. Lean meats, if consumed, opt for skinless poultry or lean cuts and avoid processed meats. Equity lens, promote affordable, accessible protein sources in food insecure communities. Beverage choices matter. Hydrate with water, herbal teas, and low sugar beverages. Avoid sugary drinks and excessive alcohol, strain strain the cardiovascular system. Bonus: brain boosting additions. Since your bridge cognitive and cardiovascular vascular health, consider these dual benefit foods: leafy greens, kale, spinach, rich in folate and nitrates; berries, high in flavonoids and that supports memory and vascular elasticity; fatty fish, omega-3s, reduce arterial plaque and support neuroplasticity. Would you like to co create a culturally responsive nutrition guide or virtual toolkit for caregivers, elders, or community health workers? We could layer in myth busting, budget friendly swaps, and traditional food wisdom. Brilliant pivot. Adapting heart healthy nutrition principles for specific cultures isn't just about swapping ingredients, it's about honoring food traditions, addressing structural barriers, and co-creating interventions that resonate across generations. Here's a framework you can use to guide culturally responsive adaptation. Framework for framework for culturally adapting heart healthy nutrition. Start with cultural foodways, not just nutrients. Map traditional staples. Identify core grains, proteins, vegetables, and flavoring agents. Honor preparation methods. Roasting, fermenting, stewing, and steaming often have health benefits. Example, in African American communities, adapt soul food by emphasizing greens without pork fat, baking instead of frying, and using herbs for flavor. To layer in healthy literacy and myth busting, address beliefs like thin equals healthy or cholesterol meds can cancel out diets. That's myth, guys. That's a myth. Use storytelling, visuals, and integrational dialogue to shift narratives. Toolkit idea, create myth busting cards with culturally familiar metaphors, e.g., arteries as village roads, co-design with community members. Use participatory methods to identify barriers, e.g., cost, access, time, and co creation solutions. Include elders, youth, and caregivers in recipe adaptation and taste testing. Example, and moral indigenous communities integrate traditional foods like wild rice, berries, and fish into heart healthy guides. Address structural and economic realities. Promote affordable swaps, e.g., canned beans over processed meats. Partner with local grocers, food pantries, or community gardens. Equity lens. Highlight SNAP eligible, heart healthy options and prep tips for limited kitchen access. Integrate cultural values and rituals. Link nutrition to spiritual practices, ancestral wisdom, and communal meals. respect fasting traditions, feast days, and food taboos. Example: in South Asian communities, adapt uh, Ayurvedic principles to reduce give me 1 second. Ghee and salt while preserving flavor and ritual. Would you like to co-create a modular adaptation guide for caregivers or community health workers? We could build out templates for African American, Latinx, Indigenous, and Asian American communities, which with tailored recipes, myth busting, and implementation tips. This is such a vital question, especially when you're working to co-design culturally responsive nutrition frameworks. Adaptation isn't just about translating guidelines, it's about navigating real world uh, constraints, systematic inequities, and cultural nonsense. Here's a synthesis of the most common barriers to adapting heart healthy nutrition across diverse communities. Common barriers to culturally adapting heart healthy nutrition. 1. Structural and environmental barriers. Food deserts or food deserts, limited access to fresh produce and whole foods in low income areas or rural areas. Unhealthy built environments, lack of walkable spaces, safe parks, or community kitchens. Neighborhood segmentation, segregation, disparities in food retail, quality and pricing across racial lines, economic constraints. Give me 1 second, guys. Cost of healthy foods, whole grains, fresh fish, and nuts are often priced out of reach. Time poverty, long work hours, and caregiving responsibilities limit time for meal prep. Kitchen infrastructure, limited access to cooking appliances or refrigeration in some households. Targeted food marketing, aggressive advertising of processed foods and sugary beverages in Black, Latinx, and indigenous communities. Children in these neighborhoods are disproportionately exposed to unhealthy food ads, culturally disconnects. Okay, so that is it for you. I'll be back on shortly with B. Give me a few for B, please, and I'll be back on with that for you. I have that ready to go. I just have to set the notes in front of me. So give me like a little bit before I do a B. For Navigator Wellness, take care, folks.